welcome to our channel. I'm Arianna, and she's Jada, and we're bringing you a sciencey makeup tutorial. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell so you'll be the first to know when we post, and smash that like button. Alright, without further ado, let's get on with the video. We all love makeup, and we all know that some of the more affordable brands don't have a perfect foundation shade that matches our skin tone. Jada here has the same problem.
That's right, Ari. Every time I go to the store, I can never find a foundation shade that's right for me. It's always too light and doesn't blend well, or it's too dark and doesn't look natural to my skin.
I feel you, girl. Well, today we will show you guys how to create the perfect foundation tone.
But first, let me give you a little rundown of what we're going to be doing before I get all beautified. We'll be finding these two different off tones of Maybelline foundations. One is in the color of 130 Cocoa and 360 Mocha. The concentration of one foundation affects the way it mixes with another because whichever has the higher concentration dilutes the other more, causing the other color scheme
into the color that had this higher concentration. You get it? You want your like perfect skin tone. The initial concentration of the 130 Mocha, the 130 Cocoa, my bad, is 30 grams, and the initial concentration of the 360 Mocha is also 30 grams. We got the initial concentration by converting the 30 milliliters of the concentration to grams. So what you do is you take the isododecane, and which is the main ingredient of the foundation, and you convert it to grams, which is pretty much the same. We already knew the concentration beforehand, but to find it yourself, you're going to have to use the M1V1 equals M2V2 formula to find the concentration for whatever foundation you're using. To find each variable, you're going to have to use algebra to find that using the given values. We will then dilute the darker foundation, 130 Cocoa, with the darker foundation, which is the 360 Mocha, to give Jada the perfect skin tone or color she deserves.
But first, we will show you which foundation each foundation looks like before without mixing. But first, we will show you what each foundation looks like before without mixing it all.
Okay. So this is the opened 360 Mocha. Mm-hmm. This was the lighter shade, believe it or not. And so what we're gonna do is I have a paper plate, and we're just gonna, I don't want to like put anything on my fingers because I didn't wash them yet. But what you're gonna do here is you're gonna dab a little on the plate, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna like dab in our foundation brush, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna we're gonna take her glasses off just for 10 seconds. Pull your hair back. She's gonna pull her hair back, and then we're gonna do like a little like her left cheek, which is your right one, and then her right one with the other one. So here it is. So you can already see how that doesn't match. Like, well, we're gonna blend, and you're gonna see, and you're gonna see how much worse it is. That is just not. Nope. And that is just not the color. Now, to give extra effect, we're gonna put a little flashlight on, just so you can see. That is just not right. And that was the 360 Mocha, and we got this darker shade, which we will put on a new paper plate, and this is the 130 Cocoa. So we're just gonna squirt a little on here, and these are both by Maybelline. We're gonna dab off the brush, and we're gonna dip it in a little bit, and she's gonna turn to her left, which is your right, and we're gonna do her other cheek. Now, you can see that it's almost the same color, but this is a little too dark, and we're gonna try and blend it in, or well, too lighter brown. So we're gonna try and blend it in to see, and it's just also not the right color. It's darker, but it's not enough. Here is extra effect, and it doesn't really match at all. But we know that if we combine both of the darker shades in the Maybelline line, we'll probably get her perfect skin tone. So
now you can see how wrong the colors look on my face, right? Like too light, too dark. Yikes. We will dilute 7.393 milliliters of 130 cocoa with 2.464 milliliters of 360 mocha. We will do that by mixing the foundations together to come up with the solution. We already had tested it out beforehand to show you the results before we help you understand how we got here.
And remember that it is the same in grams. They convert perfectly to grams, so it's also 7.393 grams and 2.464 grams of each foundation that we mentioned before. So here is what it should look like. So we kind of just played around with the concentrations of each color. At first, we started with 4.929 grams of the 130 cocoa and diluted it with 2.464 grams of 360 mocha. We saw that it didn't work, and we added in 2.464 grams of 130 cocoa to decrease the dilution of the solution, and we succeeded. The final concentration of the solution is 9.857 grams. So now we're gonna slide into me putting her actual foundation color on that we mixed. So we kind of just played around with the concentrations of each color. At first, we started with 4.929 grams of the 130 cocoa and diluted it with the 2.464 grams of the 360 mocha. We saw that it didn't work and added in 2.464 grams of 130 cocoa again to decrease the dilution of the solution. We succeeded. The final concentration of the solution is 9.857 grams. So we will show you what it looks like on her face now. And then she's just going to give you a huge background about molarity, which you will learn about in 10 seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our diluted solution, and we're going to just take a little bit with the brush. We're going to do a little streak of a line, kind of, and then we're going to take our most favorited and treasured beauty blender, and we're going to blend into her face. And it's just right there. What you're going to do is you're going to dab, and then you're going to switch. Dab and switch. Dab and switch. Because if you don't, your makeup won't be leveled. And you want to make sure that it's even and not creasing or uneven on one side. Because if it is, you're going to look patchy, and you don't want that. It's not what Jada deserves, or you. So, even without the flashlight, you can tell that this is her perfect shade. And these two were just not right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take the flashlight. I'm going to just show you a little more. And you can see that it is muy bueno. Yep.
So now that you found the concentration of the solution, you can now find the molarity. So we know that the solute is in the 360 mocha because it's the lighter foundation being used to dilute the darker 130 cocoa. We know that the solution is now diluted.
So to find the molarity, you have to divide the moles of the solute by the liters of the solution. To find the moles of the solute, you have to take the amount of the solute used and divide it by the molecular weight of isododecane, the main ingredient used in the foundation. The amount of solute being used was 2.464 grams, and the molecular weight is 170.339. And to find the liters of the solution, all you have to do is convert milliliters to liters. And 9.857 grams is the same in milliliters, so the liters of solution is 1/100. So, with that being said, the molarity is 1.4 molar. The moles of the solution was 0.014 moles, and the liters of the solution was 1/100 liters.
And that is how we found the perfect shade. Thanks for watching. Make sure to tune in next Tuesday for a whole new video.
Peace.